Hello, my name is Adam Lansdell, and today I'm going to share with you a few of my favorite stories in mythology. All of these myths pertain to the existence of the sun and its relationship to Earth. The three solar deities I selected showcase the famous mythology of the Greeks, Egyptians, and Chinese. In each of these ancient belief systems, the sun is represented as an all powerful being that controls all in nature through its ability to produce growth and promote balance on Earth by combating negative forces of energy or opposing deities. The first god I'm going to speak about is Helios of Greek mythology. In my research, I found that Greek mythology had one of the simplest yet most famous views on the sun and its relationship with our world. Generally speaking, Greek mythology centers itself around the idea that gods of Olympia, in mostly human form, are responsible for their well-being and the inner workings of the elements of them. They represent all things in the world and are responsible for all actions in nature too. In Greek mythology, the sun is controlled by Helios. Helios' daily routine requires him to hoist the sun into his chariot of golden fire each morning and place it in the sky. At noon, it is required that Helios retrieves the sun so that it does not collide with the moon as it rises. It is a naturally introverted take on how we traditionally think of the sun rising and not the moon. The moon, which contains a lesser life form and attacks darkness in this mythology. If it were not for the actions of Helios daily, it is foreseen that the world would perish to the moon and be cast in eternal darkness. In popular Chinese mythology, there is no real god of the sun, yet there's a character named Ho-I. Chinese mythology suggests that there was once 10 suns in the sky who were all brothers. They were so submerged at the command of the Jade Emperor at the time, but instead they were foolish and young and decided to wander off. Once they decided to all go in the sky at once. This made the world too hot for anything to grow, and all the people suffered until a hero named Ho-I shot down all 9 of them with his bow, leaving us with the one sun that we now have today. Another Chinese sun story suggests that there is a grandfather of the sun. In art, they typically will place the grandfather of the sun alongside the Star-Lord of Lunar Palace and the Lord of the Moon. The grandfather of the sun is responsible for maintaining the balance in nature by providing the world with the eternal sun that will allow for growth and prosper of all living things in the world. He is commonly referred to in other Chinese myths involving creation or the evolution of the animal kingdom and each of the animals' purposes as they work under him. It is apparent through annual celebration that the grandfather of sun and the lunar gods have a very special place in Chinese mythology, as they represent a governing body created and maintaining all things sacred in the living world, protecting all as they oversee the skies above. What perhaps may be my favorite solar deity, Ra, derives from Egyptian mythology. In Egyptian mythology, Ra is perhaps the most important god. He is known as the god of the sun, the creator, and also the ruler of the underworld. Ra is frequently represented in ancient Egyptian art as the highest being of power and ruler of the sky, land, and everything beneath it. Ra is commonly depicted as an Egyptian man with the head of a falcon, upon which what is known as the disk of sun rests. He is often mistaken for his counterpart Horus, whose only visual differentiation is the symbol of kinship upon his head. Ra's relationship with the sun is not only that he created it and every other being in the sky, but that it is his utmost importance to maintain it daily, as it can only be produced through his daily tasks. You see, in Egyptian mythology, when the sun reaches the highest point of the sky at noon, this is because Ra has amassed enough raw energy. Ra builds his energy each morning by eating the other deities of the Egyptian world, as if to show his dominance and balance the hierarchy. Most interestingly is that Ra also accounts for the sun setting and the alignment of the stars. In Egyptian mythology, our sunset and nighttime is explained by Ra releasing the other deities by throwing them across the sky, where they land as astrological beings of stars, planets, and more each night. Another version of Ra's story claims that Ra's son Nut, whom represents the sky, takes Ra's place each evening as he tires from his day and resides with the sun elsewhere. I hope you enjoyed this presentation on solar deities. It is important to acknowledge how important the forces of nature are, whether they be on the ground or in the sky above us. Until next time, and thank you for listening.